we're going to use the HVLP by Q-Tech. This is a 5-stage. The reason I like using the turbine system, it's way more portable. It lasts you a lot longer in terms of like servicing because it's not really much going on. It's almost like a backwards hoover. It's blowing hot air. It's not pulling in moisture, so you're not getting water trapped in your lines. You have to put a water trap coating into it. The gun is a bit bulkier, I'd say, than the Develbis SRI Pro Light there. But at the end of the day, I think you just get used to that. I don't have, for me, you're not actually holding it for that long when you're spraying windows. It's only a very small piece. I prefer the setup. I actually think you get a nicer finish with them. I think it's because of the hot air. I think it's actually atomizing the paint better. But that's personal. I mean, don't get me wrong. I love the pot guns. Just personally, over time, what I've leaned towards more. So if you're watching this and you're a decorator, or you do a lot of decorating, you can use these on other jobs as well. Quite universal in terms of spindles, chairs. Because you're only cleaning out a very small part of the barrel. You can go between water-based and solvent because it's only a small part you've got to clean out. It really is a good investment. I'd say as a decorator, there's a few things you should own. It's airless and HVLP. I spray all my spindles with a HVLP. I think you get way more control on the fan because obviously you can dial it right down and adapt the paint. A bit about the two different systems and why we use the HVLP. Okay, so what I'm going to be doing now is actually setting up the gun and getting everything ready. I'm going to be using the turbine. So here on the gun, on the left-hand side of the gun, near the nozzle, you've got your fan width. And then at the back here, you have your paint flow. So the more I open that up, the more paint I'm letting through. On the end of the hose here, I have my whip section, as you'll see. So when you set your hose up, you want to connect this at the end, and that is your whip section on the HVLP. And that is going to give you more flexibility in the hand rather than having the stiff pipe like so. This is a Q-Tech 5-stage. I would recommend 5-stage minimum for this sort of job. I don't recommend the 3-stage. 5-stage is perfect. I'd also go with a 1.5 needle set for this product. Depending on what product you're using to change the needle set, but I'd say that Ceramix 1.5 is absolutely perfect. You've got like a little connection here on the end of the hose, on the whip, and now I'm going to connect that in to the end of my gun. On my actual hose going into the gun, as you'll see, there is a air valve, right? So if I open that, if I close that right off like that, then that's closed. If I open it right up like that, that is open. I can adjust the air where I want it on that hose section. Make sure that all your fittings are nice and tight on these hoses, because if you get air leaks, then it won't pressurize properly. Also make sure that all your holes are clear. Sometimes when you're setting up your spray pattern can out like a half moon shape. What that means is one of those holes is blocked, or something is blocked there that is not allowing the air. Because if you actually watch this in slow motion, these fans, they actually twist round. So those are called spray horns. So what it does is it twists the fan as it's coming out. But if you've got something that's blocked, then it's going to come out almost sideways. So that's why you end up with that half moon effect. I'm going to turn the HVLP on, and I'm going to start setting up my paint flow onto the paper there and get my pattern set up properly. And what I'm going to be doing is starting from scratch. So I'm literally going to go right over with my fan width, and that's going to be putting it into a dot all the way around to the right. It's going to be putting it into probably 8 to 10 inches. So what I'm going to do is start here. And remember, I'm just spraying this window here. I'm not spraying a door. So I only want my fan probably about 2 inches, if that. 2 to 3 inches is absolutely fine. I'm going to go 2.5 inches, I think, actually. 2.5 inches on your fan width will be perfect for the window. So what I'm going to do is start from nothing. I'm going to turn my HVLP on now, and I'm going to guide you through it on the voiceover.
Okay, so what I'm going to be doing here is I'm just slowing the video down slightly so I can talk over it. I'm just opening my paint at the back of the gun there, and I'm just pressurising the pot. And you want to make sure you're doing here is doing this upside down. So pulling the trigger right back until you get that constant flow of paint coming out. What this is achieving is that you're actually pressurising the liner inside the cup, so now you can spray in all directions. So what I'm going to do now is start setting my fan. So this is the fan width. So I'm going to open it up slightly. You don't want to go too big with this on the UPVC windows because you only got a couple of inches to cover. So I'm looking for 1.5 to 2 inches on fan width. Once I've found that, then I can start adjusting the paint. What you got to remember about these guns is the bigger the fan, the more the paint. The smaller the fan, the less the paint. So basically, if you've got a big fan, you're going to need more paint. If you've got a small fan, you're going to need less paint. So I'm just adjusting my fan width to get the perfect size. And once I find that perfect size, then I will start adding my paints to the right consistency. Okay, so what you're looking for is a consistent fan pan. So here I'm just going to add more paint so I get the desired amount that I want. So as you can see here now, I've got a really nice solid line of paint, and the overlaps are 50% there, and it's covering well. Okay, so here what I'm going to do is I'm just going to fire the gun onto the paper. Just hold the trigger for a couple of seconds each time, and generally I'll do this to see the oval shape. You want that nice perfect oval, and you don't want it to be like a half moon, like I said about the fan pattern being one of the holes being blocked. So you're looking for that nice oval, as you can see in the picture here, and also by holding that trigger on for a couple of seconds there, you're actually checking that if it's going to run or not. If it starts running there, then you need to turn the paint down slightly, but it's a good indication that you've got the right pattern set up.